Hello everyone, my name is Anya, and in this video we're going to take a look at what happened on this day in the year 1922. This is an event that happened 100 years ago, and it is a big event in Irish history. We are commemorating the loss of probably one of the biggest heroes to ever come out of Ireland's fight for independence in the early 20th century. So for this video, I'm going to take a look at the life, the loss, and the legacy of probably one of the most celebrated Irish figures in history. And his name is Michael Collins. Now, who was Michael Collins? Michael Collins was born on the 16th of October 1890 in Woodfield, County Cork, the youngest of 8 children. Growing up, he had an immense love for Irish politics. At the age of 15, he left school and he moved to London, where for the next 9 years he became immensely involved in radical Irish politics. By 1908, Collins had joined Sinn Féin, and a year later, he became involved with the Irish Republican Brotherhood, or the IRB for short. By 1916, Collins had returned to Ireland. He moved to Dublin and he became involved in one of the biggest events in Irish history, the Easter Rising of 1916. Collins fought alongside those such as Padraig Pearse and James Connolly. Unfortunately, the Easter Rising was unsuccessful and the Irish were forced to surrender. Padraig Pearse and James Connolly were among those who were executed by the British Army. Michael Collins was one of the lucky ones. He was arrested and imprisoned, but thankfully was released by December of 1916. Following the failure of the 1916 Easter Rising, Michael Collins knew that more had to be done in terms of the fight for independence in Ireland. He became more involved with the IRB, becoming the organiser-in-chief, and also became more involved in the Sinn Féin elections. In the 1918 Sinn Féin elections, Sinn Féin won 73 out of 105 Irish seats, with Collins becoming elected in County Cork, his hometown. It was in 1919, however, that things really began to change, with Sinn Féin declaring a new parliament, Dáil Éireann. With Dáil Éireann, they declared independence, and Michael Collins was appointed the Minister of Home Affairs and later the Minister of Finance. He organised a hugely successful Dáil loan that finalised the new Republican government, and he worked alongside a very important person in Irish history who ended up becoming the 3rd President of Ireland not once but twice, a man by the name of Eamon de Valera. Michael Collins is probably most famously remembered for his work against the British forces with the Irish Republican Army, or the IRA for short. His campaign with the IRA ultimately culminated on the 21st of November 1920, when 14 British officers were killed in County Dublin. On the 22nd of November 1920, 12 civilians were killed at a football match in Croke Park by the British forces, in a day that's gone down in history as Bloody Sunday. was not until 1921 that a truce was ultimately agreed on between Ireland and Britain. Michael Collins led this peace treaty in London, which ultimately led to the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty in 1921. This meant that Ireland was split. 26 counties remained republic, while 6 counties in the north remained unionist. Those counties were, of course, Antrim, Armagh, Derry, Down, Fermanagh and Tyrone. Also in 1921, Michael Collins became involved with a young woman by the name of Kitty Kiernan. Now, this was not a case of love at first sight. Kitty Kiernan was actually engaged to another person, while Collins was actually involved at the time with her older sister Helen. But there felt a connection, and by 1922 they were engaged to be married. Which brings us to what happened on this day in 1922. Michael Collins and his men were on a tour of his hometown in County Cork. They were passing through a place called Biana Blah when they were forced to stop to remove a dray cart that was blocking the road. But this proved to be a trap. As the men got out of the car to remove the cart, they were suddenly attacked by anti-treaty rebels. In spite of being told to get back in the car and drive like hell, Collins stayed and fought back against them, until in the chaos, he was shot once in the head, killing him instantly. Michael Collins was just 31 years of age when he died.
Mick. We're talking, Mick. No, Mick, don't go on, Mick. Come on, Mick.
I would like to say that there was public outcry at the loss of Michael Collins, but honestly, that is a major understatement. In the 3 days that his body lay in state, tens upon thousands of people paid their respects. Those included British soldiers who had fought back against Collins during his life. 500,000 people attended his funeral service. At the time, that was 1/5 of Ireland's population. Michael Collins is now buried in Glasnevin Cemetery. His grave is the most widely visited in the entire of the cemetery. Every year there is a commemoration on the anniversary of his death, and people continue to leave flowers at his gravesite. His fiancée Kitty Kiernan went on to marry Felix Cronin. They had 2 sons, Felix Jr. and Michael Collins Cronin. She died in 1945 at the age of 52, and she was buried just 6 plots away from Michael Collins. Michael Collins proved to be the driving force for Ireland's fighting for independence against Britain during the 20th century. He fought for independence in our country and he died in the process. Even now, 100 years later, the people of Ireland have made sure that his life and his death will never ever be forgotten. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. In commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Michael Collins' death, I'm actually going to release a second video. This is a video that I filmed last year and it is called Sé Plóta, or 6 Plots in English. It's a short documentary looking at the love story between Michael Collins and Kitty Kiernan, focusing on the fact that there is a 6 plot distance between the 2 graves in Glasnevin Cemetery. It's nothing fancy or anything like that, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. I'm looking forward to my next video where we're looking at an event that caused a big outcry in Britain, where they lost probably one of their most celebrated people of all time. I think you know who I'm referring to when I say that. Until the next time though, my name is Anya and we've just looked at what happened on this day.